Off with maybe what seems like a little bit of an unrelated personal story, but I was reading the news this morning and I found this article called "Dearth of Tutu Makers Puts Ballet in Crisis." Okay, I'll try and do better. And is that better? I used to be a professional dancer when I'm from 16 to 19, and my mom is actually a professional tutu maker. And the article was about how the opera in Philadelphia is facing a crisis. They can't find enough qualified stitchers to make enough tutus for the upcoming run of Don Carlo. And the article went on to describe why this was happening, and it's largely because fashion houses across the US and other parts of the world as well have outsourced almost all of their stitching and tailoring predominantly to China, and as a result the tailoring industry has completely been decimated and local makers have all but disappeared. Tutu making, I don't know if you guys know anything about it, but it's a skill that's so hands-on and so detailed it simply can't be outsourced. And the opera costume director told Newsweek, a good opera house seamstress has the same skills as a surgeon. It's just that she's lower paid. And from my experience growing up alongside my mom in her workshop, that's absolutely true. I've always been in awe of my mother, who is basically a mathematician when it comes to crafting garments. And more in recent years, her clients demand faster turnaround times at a fraction of the price she was once paid for her expertise. My point's not that outsourcing is necessarily a bad thing, or that the high street's inherently evil. Not at all. But my point is this: on a very widely culturally accepted level, people no longer understand or appreciate or are willing to pay for the labor, nor the process, nor the materials involved behind the things that we buy and wear. It takes a lot to make a garment, not just the bits you think of, like the stitching and the fabric, and not just the designers, or the brands, the shops, or the catwalk shows, or the parties, obviously all things that we love. But there's also the farmers who grow cotton, the ginners, the spinners, the weavers, the dyers, the sewers, and other factory workers without whom the industry would not exist, and we very rarely hear about. These people, the people who make our clothes, are often hidden from us, and often at their own expense. And let's not forget that garment workers around the world, especially those who do the basic stitching of garments, many of the garments you'd see here in H&M, are predominantly women. Also, the vast majority of home workers who are doing things like embroidering and making sequins are women, and many of them are immigrants and migrant workers too. Realities that make these issues deeply political and cultural, and deeply rooted in the imbalances of power. In Bangladesh alone, 85% of its 3.5 million garment workers are women, earning far below the already dangerously low legal minimum wage, and starved from basic health and safety, let alone any other what we call normal work benefits. But the greatest cost these hidden people have to bear is to lose their life, as what happened at Rana Plaza. This terrible accident acts as a symptom of the broken links across the fashion industry. We, both as individuals, as businesses as well, and just collectively, just don't know how things are made anymore. For Fashion Revolution, the Rana Plaza collapse has been a metaphorical call to arms. It's acted as a catalyst for those of us wanting to see change and making change happen, and demanding that the fashion industry takes a leading role in achieving it. Fashion Revolution is about building a future where an accident like this never happens again, and we believe that knowing who made our clothes is the first step in transforming the fashion industry. Knowing our clothes requires transparency, and this implies openness, honesty, communication, and accountability. And it's about reconnecting those broken links and celebrating the relationship between shoppers like ourselves, like everybody, and the people who make our clothes, shoes, accessories, and jewelry, everything that we call fashion. Now there's a lot of designers, brands, and retailers retailers and creatives and organizations like Labor Behind the Label and War on Want, and concerned world citizens like yourselves who are demanding and even demonstrating what changes need to be made and how these injustices can be tackled, whether that's through legislation or through the ways that companies conduct their business, or even through cool, innovative ways of making and selling fashion products in a more responsible way. Fashion Revolution is here to bring everybody together, so we have a much bigger voice. And you know what? It's working. Last year, Fashion Revolution Day trended #1 globally on Twitter. We now have 71 countries planning events across the world, and we're adding more country teams every day. And this year, even some of the biggest brands, unfortunately not H&M yet, have begun to answer some, or at least respond to some of our demands. For example, American Apparel posted a hashtag Who Made Your Clothes photo yesterday on their Instagram. They have 1.3 million followers, over 20,000 likes already, and lots of controversy in the comment section. I'd encourage you to check it out. And Zara's actually responded to a Spanish blogger who did a hashtag Who Made My Clothes video